أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. All praises are for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who created men and jinn for worshipping Allah and to believe in oneness of Allah and to worship Him. Allah created men and addressed him. كل نفس ذائقة الموت. Every soul has to taste death. Allah says in the Quran, we shall test you with something of fear, hunger, loss of wealth, loss of life. But give glad tidings to as-sabirun, the one who are patient. Allah will test you with life, with wealth, with hunger, with fear. You have to die. And Allah says in the Quran, you are busy partying up, calculating, developing your career, your money, your occupation, your wealth, until you visit your grave. Brothers and sisters, think about it. When was the last time you went to a funeral? Was it your mother? Was it your father? Was it your uncle? Was it your wife? Was it your husband? The last time that you visited a grave, when you went to your funeral? When was the last time and you saw the person who you loved, who was laughing, crying, live, boasting, wealthy, agitating, arrogant, denying, whatever they were? And when you went to your funeral, what was the demeanor of the people when you walked in the funeral? What was the demeanor when you saw the person was stretched out? What was the demeanor of the people? Were they cracking jokes? Were they dancing? Were they clapping and singing songs? No. There was silence, melancholy, trauma. Why? Because every person who walked in that room, seeing the person stretched out, the first thing they thought about was not that person. The first thing they thought about was that one day this will be me. Yes, brothers and sisters, one day it will be you in that place. So Allah said in the Quran, Al-Haakum al-Takafur. All of us, you are engaged in running your mouth, doing your business, multiplying, buying houses, cars, business, whatever you're doing. But when you're told about the God, religion, life, morality, you're saying, I didn't got time for that. You're saying, I don't believe in God. You're saying, maybe I'll back again. Something. We got enough money, we don't have to die. See how arrogant people can be. Until they visit the grave. And then when you visit the funeral house, and then after you go to the funeral house, if you had the guts, if you're able to do so, you visit the grave. Now this is another scenario. But saying that, you say yourself, is that it? Is that it? 50 to 60 years of scraping, struggling, screaming, lying, stealing, fornicating, jumping up and down, working, begging, and this is the end of it? If this was going to happen to me, are they going to drop me into a hole in the ground? A hole in the ground. A same hole that a cat gets after it defecates. Just a little deeper though. A little deeper. But for the same reason. The cat digs a hole because the cat has dignity. Something like we human beings do have. Instinctively, the cat digs a hole, covers it up. Human have got to be taught to do that for the same reason. So brothers and sisters, you and I, we are going into the hole which is deeper than which the cat digs. And after that, when you notice, all the people are crying, pulling up their hair, screaming, almost acting like they're going to fall in the thing with you. They want to jump in the thing with you. But not really though. Not really though. You know it's not an act. It's just an act. Nobody's going to jump in that with you or stay in there with you. They're not going to do that. They don't love you that much. They don't love you that much. Then after all the shoveling, when it gets done, they fill it up. They fill your grave. So after all the drama, they dig that hole and put you in that and cover you up. Everybody goes back to the place. And so the woman who died had a husband. Someone else is going to marry him. You know that. You know that. He's going to marry soon. And that man who died, his woman, in about 6 months or a year or 3 or so, whatever it is, she will come to understand that she needs somebody to be with. So she's going to marry somebody. So it means after all this time, when the people walk away from the grave, brothers and sisters, it's all over. It's all over. And what about the person in that grave? What's happening in that? What's happening with him in that grave? Because you know and I know that death is like sleeping. Death is like sleeping. Your body is gone. Your body is dead. Your spirit is gone. Yes, brothers and sisters, you and I are going to know when people put us in the grave. We are going to know that. We are going to know that. Your spirit is gone. You can't shout. You can't scream. You can't say, don't leave me here. You can't say that. But you are going to be hearing that. And you're going to be seeing that. Because it is different kind of consciousness. But in the case, you can't move. You can't move in the grave. And in the grave, this is the thing when the real trauma is going to begin. This is where the real trauma is going to begin. Because there is a reason for humans. We have the reason to go inside the grave. You have to go inside the grave. You can't just disappear in the atmosphere. You can't just go anywhere else. You can't disappear into the universe or atmosphere, whatever it is. And you have to go into another womb called the tomb. Yes, brothers and sisters. You started off from a womb in your mother and you get wind up in another womb of earth called tomb. From the womb to the tomb. This is the whole trip. This is the whole trip. And this is what you have to think about. The grave is going to the place of drama and trauma. So brothers and sisters, I ask you, are you ready to face the drama and trauma in the grave? Are you ready to face the death? Death is chasing you, brothers and sisters. Death is chasing us. Are we prepared? Are we ready to face the drama and the trauma which is going to happen with us in that grave?